The moment Muan and Noa caught sight of their parents lying in bed, arms wrapped tightly around each other, both kids immediately felt this warm, fuzzy feeling bloom in their chests. The room was dead quiet. Nothing but the soft, steady breathing of their parents filling the air. Muan smiled, gently reaching over to grab her sibling's arm. "Look, Noa," she whispered, barely containing her excitement. "Mom and Dad are wearing their couple pajamas." Noa gave a slow, careful nod, eyes still locked on the bed. "Yeah, Muan. Honestly, I thought they were just talking big earlier. Guess they actually meant it." Now here's the thing. While the two kids were busy having their little moment, Roswitha and Leon were lying there completely still, eyes shut, looking like they were knocked out cold. Except they weren't. These two were wide awake, hearing every single word with crystal clarity and just choosing to say nothing. Absolute menaces in disguise, honestly. Then Muan turned back to Noa, her face practically glowing with something to say. "Hey, Noa. Okay, so, one time when you were at school, I kind of wandered into Mom and Dad's room. Not on purpose. I just wanted to check on them." Noah's brow furrowed. "Wait, seriously? What did you see?" Muan raised one finger to her chin and looked up, replaying the memory like a loading screen. They were hugging in their sleep. Like, really close. And they looked so genuinely happy just existing next to each other. Noa went quiet for a beat, but you could tell the gears were turning. "You sure about that, Muan?" Muan nodded, her tone shifting into something a little more serious now. "But wait, there's more. Mom and Dad looked exhausted that night, and they had all these red marks on their necks and arms. Like, a bunch of them. Kinda looked like bug bites." Noa thought about it for a second, then said, "But hold on. Aren't there literally no bugs inside Silver Dragon Castle?" "Exactly what I thought," Muan replied. "So I went and grabbed some ointment and just quietly applied it to their arms and necks. I didn't want it getting worse." The second those words landed, Noa grabbed Muan's face with both hands and started pinching her cheeks like she'd just won something. "Muan, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that from you at all. You actually beat me to it. You absolute unit. Good thing you were there for them." Back on the bed, Roswitha and Leon slowly cracked their eyes open. They exchanged a glance, just a brief one. Both of them could feel the warmth creeping up their faces and the faint sweat on their foreheads, and it had nothing to do with the room temperature. These kids were just built different, and somehow that was more devastating than anything. Then Muan's voice drifted over again. "Noa, you think Mom and Dad are going to have more red marks tomorrow morning?" Noa answered with full confidence. "If they do, we'll just put medicine on them again. Better safe than sorry." Leon lay there for a moment, visibly struggling. He quietly called out, "Roswitha." But before he could even finish that thought, Roswitha pinched him in the side, sharp and deliberate. Leon let out a muffled gasp and bit his lip. "Ow, what was that for?" "That actually hurt, Roswitha. Why are you pinching me?" Roswitha just smiled. Then she pressed one finger to her lips, slow and pointed. "Shoo," she whispered, firm but quiet. "Keep it down, Leon. The kids will hear us." Now Roswitha's little shush? Yeah, that did not land the way she intended. Because the moment those words left her mouth, something shifted behind Leon's eyes. They sharpened. A slow, quiet smile crept onto his face, the kind that meant he was absolutely cooking up something. "All right then," he thought to himself. "You want to play games? Fine, let's play." And then he moved. No warning, no build-up. Leon closed the gap and kissed Roswitha square on the lips, fast, clean, and completely out of nowhere. She had zero time to dodge, zero time to react. Fully caught lacking, no cap. Roswitha's eyes went wide. Her face flushed immediately, lips going warm in an instant. She did not see that coming. A whole cocktail of emotions hit her at once. Shock, irritation, and this annoying flutter in her chest she absolutely refused to acknowledge. But neither of them broke. Both of them snapped back into position just as fast, lying still, eyes closed, playing dead like nothing happened. Every now and then, one would silently nudge the other to keep it together, both of them laser-focused on not getting caught. Their bodies were trembling slightly, and honestly, it wasn't just the tension. It was the sheer effort of not completely losing it right there. Meanwhile, Muan was done. Cooked. She rubbed her right eye and let out a long, dramatic yawn. "Noa, I'm tired. I'm literally falling asleep, standing up. Come on, let's head back to our room," she said. Noa gave her shoulder a light pat in agreement. Yeah, let's go. And just like that, the two of them bolted out of the room. As they disappeared down the hall, Muan's voice echoed back, full of chaotic energy. Move out, little dragon special force. Retreat. I repeat, retreat. But just before Noa pulled the door shut, she paused. She glanced back at her parents one last time, lying side by side, looking completely peaceful, like they'd been asleep the whole time. A quiet smile crossed her face. Then she gently pulled the door closed. Click. The second that sound hit, Roswitha and Leon flew apart like magnets flipped to the wrong side. Both of them shot upright at the same time, breathing hard, faces absolutely red. No poker faces left. None. They were cooked and they knew it. Leon caught his breath, then looked down at his chest. His expression went quiet, almost thoughtful. He murmured to himself, barely above a whisper, I don't think I could have held out much longer through that kiss. But why is it doing this? The dragon mark on his chest was glowing. He stared at it for a moment, brow furrowing slightly, but he didn't have the energy to chase that thought any further. The exhaustion that had been building finally caught up to him all at once. He laid back down, slowly willing himself to calm, and let his eyes fall shut one breath at a time. Leon swung his legs over the side of the bed, fully ready to relocate to the sofa and call it a night. Roswitha noticed immediately. Where are you going? She asked, shifting slightly to look at him. Leon glanced back, calm and unbothered. Just heading to the sofa. I'm pretty tired. Might as well sleep there. But before he could even fully stand, Roswitha reached out and caught his arm. He stopped, looked back at her, and then she did something completely unexpected. She got a little shy about it, just slightly, and patted the empty space beside her on the bed. Leon, you don't have to sleep on the sofa. If you want, you can sleep here, next to me. Leon's face went red. Instantly, he stood there for a second, processing, before managing a response. Ah, okay. If that's what you want, then sure. No problem. A few seconds later, they were both lying in bed. Room dead silent. And yeah, the tension was very much present. Both of them had their eyes closed, but neither of them was anywhere close to actually sleeping. Then Roswitha opened her eyes. Quietly, she looked over at Leon, who had his eyes shut and looked like he might actually be drifting off. She watched him for a moment. Then she inched just slightly closer. Leon, she called softly. Can you stretch one of your arms out? Leon blinked. He did not see that one coming. The Silver Dragon Queen, asking him that. Still, he didn't hesitate. He extended one arm in her direction. Like this? Is this okay? He asked. Roswitha didn't answer. Instead, she just laid her head down on his arm, quiet and unhurried. Her cheeks were faintly pink as she murmured, almost to herself, Okay, I'm going to sleep now. Good night. And honestly, despite the embarrassment creeping up his own face, Leon gently wrapped his arm around her, just enough so she wouldn't slip. A small smile crossed his lips, because he knew, deep down, that moments like this didn't exactly come often in his life. Doesn't seem like she's going to lecture me tonight, he thought to himself, quietly amused. Looks like I'm safe from any sermon. A beat passed. Then, softly, get some sleep, my Roswitha. Good night. The next morning, Leon and Roswitha made their way to Sky Island City for a prenatal nutritional check, plus a run to pick up some supplements and fetal stabilization medications. Sky Island was something else, honestly. Dragons drifted lazily through the open air above them, and along the edges of the city, small castles floated among the clouds like they were just casually defying gravity. The kind of scenery that would make anyone stop and stare for a second. As they moved through the market district of Sky Island City, Roswitha had a list in hand and a very visible look of irritation on her face as she scanned through it. We've already got the basics, she muttered under her breath. But there's still one thing I can't find anywhere. I really want the jade dew dragon fruit. This is genuinely annoying. Why is it so hard to track down? Leon was already running out of arms. Both of them were loaded up with bags from Roswitha's pregnancy shopping haul, and he carefully made his way over to her, looking like a one-man grocery delivery service. Roswitha, he started, choosing his words carefully. We've already asked at over 10 food stores, and still nothing. Is there really no other fruit that could substitute for the jade dew dragon fruit? Roswitha turned to look at him. The irritation on her face was immediate. Do you have any idea how rare that fruit is? She said, her voice climbing just slightly. It's known for calming the fetus and stabilizing the emotions of a pregnant dragon. I've been struggling to keep my feelings in check lately, my anger, everything. So I suggest you start praying we find that jade dew dragon fruit somewhere in this city. Then she pointed directly at him, almost dramatically. And let me be very clear, Leon, if we don't find that dragon fruit. She paused, fixed him with a sharp, unblinking stare. You will become my jade dew dragon fruit. Leon's survival instincts kicked in immediately. He swallowed hard. His brain was already running calculations. That cannot happen, he muttered to himself. And then he ran. Just wait right there, he called back to her as he took off through the market. Even if I have to turn this entire Sky City upside down today, I will find your jade dew dragon fruit. He hadn't gotten very far when he suddenly skidded to a stop. His ears perked up, because coming from somewhere up ahead was a loud, energetic announcement that had no business sounding this perfectly timed. A female dragon with a microphone was going absolutely full hype mode. We have a brand new store opening today, and we've prepared a grand prize for our event. Everyone who participates gets a small gift, but if you take first place in our competition, you'll win the ultra premium jade dew dragon fruit. She cranked up the energy even further. So what are you all waiting for? Come sign up now. This could be your shot at the rarest dragon fruit around. Leon was already sprinting toward her before she even finished the sentence. He shot his hand up and announced himself loud and clear. Me? I want to join. Where do I sign up? A little while later, the woman with the microphone was back at it, addressing the crowd with the same chaotic enthusiasm. Good day to everyone here. It looks like our event has been a massive hit. We've got an incredible turnout of contestants today. The crowd erupted in applause. She raised one hand and continued. Because of the sheer number of applicants, we'll be splitting our contestants into two groups first. The winning group from each side will then advance to the final round. Leon stood there staring at the stage, swallowing quietly. For him, this wasn't just some random competition anymore. This was a mission, a matter of personal survival. The moment the announcer finished speaking, the crowd of female dragons sitting along the sides of the stage absolutely lost it. One by one, they started screaming out their partners' names like they were at a championship bout. Go, Arzan. You've got this, Draco. Don't you dare lose. The energy in that place was unreal. Roswitha watched it all. And look, she was not exactly the type to scream her lungs out in public. The woman had dignity, composure, a reputation to uphold. But she wasn't about to be outdone either. She glanced over at Leon. There was a faint, almost reluctant look on her face, like she was wrestling with herself for exactly 1 second. Then, slowly, she raised one hand. Quiet, measured, but completely clear. You can do it, Leon, do your best. Leon heard it through all the noise. He turned immediately, looked right at her. Then he raised one finger, just one, calm and confident, and gave her a wink. His expression said everything. He was not losing this. Up on the stage, the announcer gestured towards 7 chairs arranged neatly in the center. The rules are simple, she announced, projecting to the whole crowd. When the music stops, every contestant must rush to claim a seat. Any dragon left standing is automatically eliminated. Last one remaining advances to the final trial. The audience clapped and cheered. Leon took that moment to quietly scan the room. He studied the other contestants, their stances, their posture, the general vibe they were giving off. This doesn't look too bad, he muttered to himself. They all seem like ordinary dragons. Nobody here looks like a serious threat. But then something caught his eye. He glanced behind him and stopped. There was a female dragon standing off to the side. Yellow hair, completely still. She had on a dark hat and wore glasses that obscured her eyes, and she wasn't doing anything dramatic. No flexing, no intimidating stares, no power moves. She was just standing there. And yet, Leon felt it immediately. She's the only one I actually need to watch. There was a weight to her presence that didn't match the rest of the room. The glasses hid her eyes, but it didn't matter. Her aura alone was doing more than enough talking. She was nowhere near ordinary. One look and you could tell, this was a noble dragon. The kind with bearing, with presence, with power that didn't need to announce itself.